Hello, Matthew from Podiatrist Professionals here. Just wanted to give you an update and a summary on a synopsis on shoes and the characteristics in shoes, the types of shoes. It's quite a confusing sort of topic given there's just thousands and thousands of shoes on the market at the moment. The question ultimately is what's the right shoe for yourself or for the foot type you have. So let me talk you through some different categories of shoes which are available, and I'll talk you through the features that they each possess, and then how to apply that to your foot type, because the most common treatment option we'll be talking about with patients on a daily basis is shoes. So there's a lot of information and a lot of different sort of shoes around, and commonly injuries and pain as such in feet can be caused by wearing either the incorrect shoe or shoes with the wrong features. So there is a very technical side to shoes, which we won't go too far into depth today. I want to keep it pretty simple and give you an overview, but that's where from a podiatrist perspective, shoes become a really mainstream part of our treatment plan, and prescribing the correct one is what sort of podiatrists do well. But let me talk you through them. So there's if I go from left to right, it might be a bit of an easy flow, but basically shoes, we like to categorize shoes and group them into cushion shoes, neutral shoes, supportive shoes, and then ultra supportive. So there's basically a flow then of really soft cushioning material, neutral shoes which are sort of a bit of both support and cushioning, supportive shoes which have, as the name suggests, a lot more stability in them, and then this category with this ultra control based support. So if I use, and look, just before I go on, look, don't worry too much about brands. So there's a common misconception out there that brands, some are better than others, and one shoe is better than the other in regards to brand wise. That's incorrect. Sure, certain feet and certain sort of people get used to brands, and they'll be wearing brands for years on end because they're comfortable and because it works for them. Absolutely fine, and we actually recommend to continue that. But in regards to shoe brands and which is the better, rank them 1 to 5 is a common question we get, and it's not at all about the brand, it's about the category of shoe and the features. So we talked about cushion shoes. So cushion shoes, as the name suggests, really soft, really spongy material. So all through the bottom part of this rear foot and midsole and all the way to the forefoot will be really soft and really easy to compress. Now, when you wear this shoe and put this on, it should feel really soft and compressive, like it's absorbing a lot of the stress and force that comes with walking and running. So cushioning is an excellent characteristic for feet that have high arches or feet that are lack shock absorption. So they're the high arched, really rolled out feet, which is a really basic term. Love cushion shoes, because they've already got that high arch structure. They just need more cushioning. We go down to a neutral shoe. Like we're moving through these categories. Neutral shoe is more a combo, pretty much. Think of it as a neutral foot, so it's not rolled in and not rolled out, right bang in the middle. It's got a combination of cushioning and a combination of support. So you've got a little bit of each just to hold that sort of foot where it should be. Probably the most common foot category is a neutral shoe. Suits a lot of feet, so really good option. Moving into a more supportive shoe. So for this flat foot or this rolled in feet that a lot of us in the population have, it's a very common sort of foot type. Difference being that basically the midsole and the inner part of the shoe here is firmer. So for me to press into this area through this rear foot and this inner arch area and all the way through that inner part of the foot, does the firmer the midsole, it does support the foot and stop that foot from rolling in. So more this flatter low arch foot that's going to roll in. This sort of shoe is designed to support that and reduce that rolling and reduce the strain on those tissues there. So really common shoe, a lot of variation in this. Every shoe brand will have supportive shoes, and commonly you might even see that the difference in the colour here is pretty obvious, white being the softer material and grey being the firmer material. So that's a dual density or a two density sort of feature. So for runners who specifically like potentially trail running or off-road running, there is a category of shoe called a trail shoe. Now, main differences are the outsole. The lugs, or the sort of the grip underneath here, are a bit chunkier, they're a bit grippier, they're more designed for uneven terrain, trails, rocks, the surfaces like that. Now, you can still run in these on a road or on a treadmill or anywhere without a trail. You can still wear this for running anywhere, but it is designed for trails. Now, the midsole here is a bit of a neutral base really, but neutral base, sturdy heel counter and outsole lugs. Now, business shoes, for those that are in the office, the basic recommendation here is something with a little bit of stability, nothing too thin in the outsole, nothing too sort of thin in the rear foot that are going to, a lot of stress and pain can sort of eventuate through that midsole. So there's a huge amount of variation in dress shoes, but something that fits well and has some support. But if I had to give an overall sort of 3 or 4 key characteristics, one, and by far the number one thing to look out for, is comfort. So if you try a shoe on, whatever brand it may be, and it's not comfortable, don't get it. There's a huge amount of research now that's sort of guiding us into that, and it seems pretty straightforward, you would think, but the comfort and the first step comfort when you put that shoe on has to be high. If not, get rid of it, try another one on. Second thing is get in the category of shoe that your foot suits. Cushion for high arch, neutral for neutral, rolled in flat feet for supportive, trail running for trail. Business shoes. So the third thing, and look at basic, sort of, and it's not applicable to all shoes, but let's just go through a really quick thing in a shoe store or when you're assessing your shoe. Heel counter, let's make sure that when we squeeze that heel counter, it's got some stability in it. If we can really compress that and it has nothing in it, there's not a lot of support. Torsion or twisting wise, when we twist that shoe, we want to see a little bit, but we shouldn't be able to rig it out like a rag. And with a flex point, we want to see that flex just where this big toe joint will be, not further back through this midsole or rear foot. So there's 3 basic points and something you can look at when you're assessing shoes. But if in doubt, it's probably a good thing to get in touch with the podiatrist and have a more in-depth assessment on what the right shoe is for you with the activity you're doing, and we'll be able to write out a prescription and advise you on that.